In the year 2054, on a desolate, ice-crusted planet far from Earth, a man named Mech awoke in a frozen chasm, his breath fogging in the biting cold. His eyes fluttered open, adjusting to the dim light, and he saw a spaceship hovering above. Instinctively, he called out to his friend Teemo, his voice echoing off the icy walls. Teemo, piloting the ship, spotted Miki and froze in shock. Miki was alive, against all odds. But instead of rushing to save him, Teemo emerged from the ship, grabbed Missy's flamethrower, and turned away. "You're going to die soon anyway," Teemo said coldly. "Saving you is pointless." Macy wasn't just any man. He was a clone, the 17th iteration of himself, to be precise. He had been grown 16 times before, each death followed by a new body printed by the company's advanced technology. His memories were backed up weekly, uploaded into a computer, and transferred into each new clone to ensure continuity. To the science department, this was routine cloning was so commonplace that Mick's existence barely registered. But during the printing of My-17, a wire had come loose in the machine, causing a subtle glitch in the process. Cloning was illegal on Earth, restricted to space missions involving expendables, people like me, sent on dangerous assignments because their deaths were inconsequential. If Mixie died, they'd simply print another. Mancy's life was defined by this grim purpose: to die, repeatedly, for the sake of science. One day, the crew sent him outside the spaceship to repair a fault, but Misi quickly realized there was no fault. They were testing him, exposing him to deadly radiation to see how a human body would react. During the mission, a tool from the ship struck him, severing his hand. The scientists watched, amused, as he writhed in pain. When they printed the next me, he had only 15 minutes to live, barely enough time for them to collect samples before his body gave out. The origins of Mincy's tragic existence traced back to Earth 4 years earlier. Mincy and Teemo were close friends, bound by a shared dream. Teemo had borrowed money from dangerous loan sharks to open a bakery, with Mincy's help. But the business failed, and the sharks came for their money. Desperate, the two fled, only to be caught by the mafia boss Darius, a sadist who delighted in dismembering his captives. Knowing they'd face a gruesome fate if they didn't pay up, Misi and Teemo decided to escape Earth entirely. Miki applied to join a mission to colonize a new planet, one of millions vying for a spot. The mission's leader, Kenneth, was a failed politician with a cult-like following, backed by investors eager to fund his vision. Teemo, with his learner's pilot permit, easily joined the crew, but means he had no such qualifications. Desperate, he checked the expendable box on the form without much thought. An officer showed Misi the grim reality of being an expendable. The ship's printer recycled organic waste to leftover food, human remains, even corpses to create clone bodies. Misi, distracted by the officer's allure, barely registered the horrors she described. She led him to a scanning machine, where his memories were backed up into a brick-like device. An injection triggered a flood of memories, including a haunting one. The day Mixie, as a child, accidentally pressed a red button in his mother's car, causing a catastrophic accident that killed her. The memory overwhelmed him, and he wept. The officer, unfazed, handed him a gun and shot him, explaining that he needed to get used to dying. The gun was a blank, but the fear was real. The spaceship launched, and Misi began his new life among the crew. The food was tasteless, rationed strictly, with alarms blaring if anyone took more than their share. During the first lunch break, Kenneth appeared with his wife, Yalfa, a cunning woman who manipulated him for her own gain. Most of the crew admired Kenneth, but some remained skeptical. Misi's attention, however, was drawn to Nasha, a security agent. Their eyes met, and he felt an instant connection. Nasha invited him to her table, shared her food, and soon they became friends. Kenneth, in a speech, declared that their mission was to build a new world on an alien planet, but resources were limited. To conserve them, he banned relationships and procreation a rule. Nasha and Masi ignored, sneaking off to spend nights together. The crew often pestered Misi about what dying felt like, a question that grated on him. When Nasha overheard, she snapped, threatening to shoot them so they could experience it themselves. Her outburst sparked a brawl in the cafeteria, landing everyone in detention for the night. Misi's punishment was harsher. His food rations were cut in half. Meanwhile, crew members like Kai and Jennifer tried to get close to him, but Nasha's jealousy ensured they knew Misi was hers. When the ship finally reached its destination, the scientists sent Misi outside without a helmet to collect viral samples. He fell ill and died almost instantly. but the mission required him to repeat this deadly task until they developed a vaccine. Once, they found him alive in a body bag, yet callously threw him into the recycler. Through My 12 to My 16, they perfected the vaccine, allowing humans to roam the planet without masks. On one mission, Mai and the research team ventured into an icy cave. Kai spotted strange, insect-like creatures in a wall crevice. One leapt at her, chasing her until a teammate fired at it, scaring the creatures off. But Jennifer froze, sensing something above. She shot at the ceiling, triggering an avalanche that buried her. Back at the ship, Kenneth berated Mael, insisting he should have died instead of Jennifer after all. Dying was his job. He named the creatures creepers after reviewing footage. Miki's rations were cut further, and his workload doubled. Sent to collect creeper samples, he relied on Teemo to deliver food via helicopter. One day, walking on thin ice, Miki fell into a chasm the moment that opened this tale. After Teemo abandoned him, Misi was seized by a massive creeper. Smaller creepers surrounded him, but when their mother let out a strange cry, Misi mimicked it. To his surprise, they tossed him out of the chasm. Staring at them, he realized they didn't even want to eat him. His clone body was too pathetic. Spotting a company truck, he climbed onto its roof, returning to the ship exhausted. In his room, he froze. Mishu 18 had already been printed and stood before him. 2 clones existing simultaneously was illegal. Msi 18, enraged, knocked Msi 17 out with a rock. When 17 awoke, 18 was dragging him to the recycler room to dispose of him. Nasha had warned that each Mai was slightly different, and 17 deduced that 18 was more aggressive. In the recycler room, 17 tried to fight back, but was overpowered. Desperate, he offered to share duties and alternate deaths, since dying was inevitable. 18, sensing 17's fear, hesitated. Footsteps approached, and they hid. It was Teemo, secretly selling a drug called oxifosol to the crew. When Teemo was alone, 18 attacked him, blaming him for their predicament. 17 intervened, trying to save Teemo, but 18 fought back. Nasha and G, the security head, arrived just in time. 18 coerced Teemo into pretending he'd accidentally fallen into the recycler, with 18 saving him. 17, hiding, watched Nasha leave with 18, jealousy burning within him. Later, 17 was invited to dine with Kenneth and Yalfa. Overwhelmed by the lavish food, he ate greedily. Kenneth apologized for blaming him for Jennifer's death, but the mood soured when 17 vomited, his neck marked with red welts from growth hormones in the meat. The science team rushed in, injecting him with an experimental drug. He convulsed, crashing into furniture in agony. Kenneth suggested a merciful death, while Yalfa moved her carpet to avoid bloodstains. Kai protested, arguing Mai deserved better, but Kenneth dismissed him as just a clone. Mai pleaded that he felt fine, and Kai took him to her room. There, he saw photos of Kai and Jennifer, revealing their deep bond. Kai asked about dying, wanting to understand Jennifer's final moments. Mai described it as terrifying. When Kai moved closer, he fled, rattled. Back in his room, Nasha identified him as 1,718 had confessed everything. She marked their bodies with lipstick numbers. Kai walked in, saw both clones, and left silently. Nasha chased after her. Meanwhile, 17 and 18 watched a broadcast of Kenneth on a talk show. 17 recounted the dinner, revealing Kenneth's willingness to kill him over a minor infection. Furious, 18 grabbed Nasha's gun and set out to kill Kenneth. Kai reported the dual clones, but Nasha confronted her, refusing to share Missy. As 18 stormed off, 17 followed, warning Kai and Nasha about the gun. In the cafeteria, a laser cut into a rock containing a black diamond. 18 prepared to shoot Kenneth, but a shove threw off his aim. A small creeper burst from the rock, sparking panic. Kenneth ordered its capture, and scientists in hazmat suits failed to subdue it. Kenneth commanded 17 to catch it. When the creeper paused, 17 mimicked the mother's cry, calming it. Dorothy, a scientist, noticed. Meanwhile, 18 fired at Kenneth, but Nasha and 17 tackled him. The bullet hit the diamond, releasing another creeper that latched onto Kenneth's face. Guards killed it, and scientists captured the first creeper. Its cries reached its mother outside. Nasha, 17, and 18 were jailed. 17 shared how the creepers had spared him, but Nasha insisted they'd saved him. Teemo infiltrated the jail, freeing them. He gave 17 a letter from Darius, who'd followed them to space, demanding Teemo dismember 17 on video to erase their debt. Teemo, tearfully, claimed 17 was doomed anyway. Kai called out his act, but Teemo ordered a guard to kill 17. 18 volunteered to die instead, feigning fearlessness. When the guard offered oxyphazole, 18 attacked, and Nasha stole the guard's taser and keys. She nearly turned Teemo's saw on him, but G arrested everyone. In the recycler room, Yalfa mutilated a creeper child for a sauce, and Kenneth branded 18 to distinguish the clones. He erased Mousie's memory data, enraged by the creepers. Nasha argued the planet belonged to them, but Kenneth mocked her, saying they spared Micey because he was worse than garbage. Dorothy revealed her team's work on a creeper translator. When the creeper child spat on Kenneth, he attacked it, missing. In a rage, he tied the child and threw it into the fire pit, tossing the rope to Nasha. She caught it with her teeth. Desperate to save the child, Kenneth ordered a genocide of the creepers, but Yalfa had a twisted plan. She strapped bombs to 17 and 18, controlled by Kenneth, tasking them to collect creeper tails. The first to gather 100 would live. The loser would die. On their mission, 17 blamed himself for his mother's accident, but 18 insisted the car was faulty. Dorothy gave them a translator device. They reached the creeper mother, who recognized Missy. She'd saved him but demanded her child's return, threatening to kill all humans if harmed. Her screams overwhelmed them, and she claimed she could burst their brains. Kenneth and Yalfa, watching via cameras, panicked. 17 signaled Nasha with a C3 gesture, meaning she must save the child. Yalfa pushed for Kenneth to negotiate, but 17 promised the mother Nasha would deliver her child. The mother demanded a human life in exchange for her other child's death. Nasha ambushed Yalfa in a vehicle, holding her hostage. G held the child's rope but hesitated. Yalfa cut G's wrist, but Nasha grabbed the rope. G declared Yalfa and Kenneth's abuse of power warranted a trial. Outside, the child reunited with its mother. 18 confronted Kenneth, announcing he'd offer a human sacrifice. Hesitating, he detonated his bomb, killing himself and Kenneth. The creepers retreated,